Hello, Andre Kasperger here, and welcome to Business Planning Made Simple. Use this lean 9-step process course. What this course is about, it forwards a simple and straightforward 9-step process that will help you to identify and implement the key items or the key elements that you need to have in place for your business idea, or if you already have something going or started, for it to have any chance of succeeding. In fact, miss some of these key ones and your chances of success are almost none. So let's go through some of the major items that are covered in this course. Now, some of the uses for the information that you're going to uncover include using the information as a simple business idea validation process. Example, you may just have an idea, just run it through this filter and see what happens with it. It may be a great idea that you can execute, or you may find some issues that you need to solve. The information can also be used as a great start for a formal business plan. Not all businesses require business plans. Usually, business plans are there to get additional funding, and most business plans are composed of templates. And so what happens, you have volumes of data that nobody really reads. As you go on with the business, you put that business plan on the shelf and it sits there and gathers dust. Anyhow, so you're much better off using a shorter process with some very definite goals like we're going to go through, and use that as your getting started business plan. The information can also be used as a health checkup for existing business. Example, you may have an existing business that you want to evaluate it for future growth or why it's floundering, and this process can help you with that. Most of all, though, you will be able to identify the key elements that need to be in place and in play in order to set your business venture on the path to success. If nothing else, it can definitely do that. Now, before we get into the actual 9 steps, let's set the foundation. And the base of that foundation is you need to define what is your end in mind. In other words, what will this business venture represent after it is launched? Is it to serve and promote a cause of yours or somebody else's? Is it to fulfill a want that has been unmet out in the marketplace? Is it to establish you as a market leader? Well, that's only something that you can decide. You need to decide on what you want to accomplish with this venture. What do you want it to represent? Better yet, ask yourself, what is your vision for this venture? In this case, what we want to look at is the vision as the start or the beginning of a mission statement. And the mission statement really ends up being the guiding light for many very successful businesses and ventures. So let's look at a few and show you what I mean. The Gap, as an example, which is a clothing retailer. We create emotional connections with customers around the world through inspiring product design, unique store experiences, and compelling marketing. Wow, that's pretty strong and clear as far as what their mission and vision is. Apple. We design the best personal computers in the world, lead a digital music revolution, reinvented the mobile phone, and are defining the future of mobile media and computing devices. Wow, that's pretty clear and pretty strong. They know where they're going. Level, that is a social network for professional millennials. Listen to what they have to say. Our mission is to create a trusted community of young professionals who are invested in supporting each other's success in game-changing leadership positions. That's pretty clear. And what a guiding light, eh? Before we go into the 9 steps, I would encourage you to set that vision for the venture that you are about to undertake. Okay, and now let's move on to the 9 steps, and I'm just going to go through a very quick recap, and then we'll go into the details of each step. Okay, here we are at the actual steps, and I'm going to do a very quick run through the 9 steps, starting with steps 1 through 4. And the reason that they're separated because a series of steps is facing outside and the other one is facing inside. Steps 1 through 4 are called the human interaction side, and they're externally facing. And basically what I mean by that's really the intersection where your product and your company and the support and your customers meet. We will examine and define who is the ideal customer for your product. We'll examine and define what is the differentiator and the competitive advantage that you're bringing into the market with your product. We will do the same for the distribution channels. We will do the same for the customer support and communications that need to be in place to support your brand new venture. And in steps 5 through 9, they are the analytical side, and here's where you can measure and you need to keep track of things, etc. They are the internally facing steps, and here again we'll examine and define how the revenue is going to be generated. A very important step, eh? Number 6, what new key resources will be required to support your new venture? Number 7, will this venture require the introduction of some key activities? Will this new venture require new brain power or strategic partners? Number 9, and extremely important, what will this new venture end up costing to get up and running? And one of the things we're also going to do then is look at the costing and the revenue and see where we are. In other words, is this going to make money or not? And what kind of resources are you going to need to put in place to make this a go? Anyways, now we can move on to step 1, which is the customer, and we're going to go into fine detail on that. We'll examine and define. So we'll see you there.